I'm sorry I haven't a clue, the antidote to panel games. At the piano is Colin Sell, and your chairman is Jack Dee.
Hello and welcome to I'm Sorry I Haven't a Clue. You join us for a second visit to Cheltenham, the fine spa town in the rolling county of Gloucestershire. As Cheltenham's reputation as a spa resort grew, the town entertained many famous visitors, including the Duke of Wellington. It was in Cheltenham that Wellington was challenged by a former lover and replied, "Publish and be damned." And so it was that Hydroelectric Monthly magazine hit the newsstands. During the early 20th century, Cheltenham became known for the manufacture of fine leather goods such as gloves and shoes. And it was here that Dr. Martin set up a factory to make his famous air sole shoes. Later he made some for people who weren't. Cheltenham is also famous as home to GCHQ, the government listening station, so hello to them. It was at GCHQ that an encryption system was developed which is now used to make credit card transactions safe. A message to be transferred is enciphered at the encoding terminal as a number M in a predetermined set, and that number is then raised to a predetermined value associated with the intended receiver. The remainder, or residue, is computed when the exponentiated number is divided by the product of two predetermined prime numbers associated with the intended receiver. Failing that, just try to remember your mother's maiden name. Let's meet the teams. On my left, Barry Cryer and Graham Garden. And on my right, Tim Brooke-Taylor and Jeremy Hardy. And here to keep a trained eye on the team's points, please welcome the delightful Samantha. Okay, teams, let's get going. The first round is another edition of the Uxbridge English Dictionary. English is a rich and expressive language, but that can lead to confusion between apparently similar terms. For example, a lot of people don't know the difference in meaning between rely and depend. Well, anyone looking them up will find that the word rely means to have faith in or to be sure or certain of, whereas depend is where you dive into a swimming pool. Meanings are constantly changing, so I'll ask the teams to share any new definitions they may have spotted recently. Tim, you can start.
Pretext. Actually speaking to each other.
Graham.
Demonic. Her Majesty the Queen.
Barry.
Dervish. Rather like diesel. For the older listeners.
Jeremy.
Trampoline, liquid for cleaning vagrants.
Definite. Street slang for hard of hearing.
B-Day. B-Day, 2 days before D-Day.
Apocalypse, disastrous collagen injection.
Agog. Half-finished Jewish temple.
Tarka dal, one of the otter curries.
Clematis. Not quite what you're trying to find.
Pantomime. Underwear for the hard of hearing.
Farting. Something a long way from an Irishman.
Psychedelia, mental cook.
Laceration, young woman's speech. lass oration. It's a lass that's making a speech, so it's like oration.
No, Tim, the audience are right.
Biased to be blessed with two bottoms. I think blessed is the right word.
Teams are going to sing along with some well-known discs now in the round called Pick Up Song. As usual, record researcher Samantha went down to the gramophone library earlier to fetch the team's records. She spent so much time down there, the friendly old archivist has suggested he could get Samantha her own desk, and he's thinking of one of those self-assembly flat packs. Samantha's not really convinced, but she says if he thinks he can get it up, she's quite prepared to suck it and see. Samantha is back at the record deck, ready to give the team's discs a spin. Each should sing along with his record until, at my signal, Samantha turns the volume down. If, on the music's return, teams, you're within a gnat's crotchet of the original, I'll be awarding points. And points mean prizes. What does a Scouser do with a crowbar? So this week's prize is guaranteed to accessorize and delight any fashion-conscious pet lover seeking that classic retro look. It's this fabulous pair of tortoiseshell tortoises. I'll start with you, Barry. I'd like you to accompany the village people singing YMCA.
There's no need to feel down, I said, young man. Pick yourself up the ground, I said, young man. 'Cause you're in a new town, there's no need to be unhappy, young man. There's a place you can go, I said, young man. When you're short on your dough, you can stay there. And I'm sure you will find many ways to have a good time. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. Fun to stay at the YMCA. They have everything for you men to enjoy. You can hang out with all the boys. Fun to stay at the YMCA. I'm not staying there anymore.
You got the clap very early.
I got the clap. Clapped on and clapped out.
Thank you, Barry. And those of you listening at home are lucky. Well, you now, Graham, would you accompany Jeff Beck singing Hi-Ho Silver Lining?
You're everywhere and nowhere, baby. That's where you're at. Going down the bumpy hillside in your hippie hat, flying across the country and getting fat, saying everything is groovy when your tires are flat and it's high-ho silver lining. Anywhere you go now, baby, I see your sun is shining, but I won't make a fuss, though it's obvious.
And finally, would you, Jeremy, please accompany Bob Dylan singing Just Like a Woman?
Nobody feels any pain tonight as I stand inside the rain. Everybody knows the baby's got new clothes, but lately I see her ribbons and her bows have fallen from her head. She takes just like a woman
Yes, she does. She makes love just like a woman. Yes, she does. And she aches just like a woman. But she breaks just like a little girl. She breaks just like a woman.
That's right. I think Simon chose just the right song. Did you hear the heckle?
No, what do you say?
It's a Judas. Very good. Well, the teams are going to display their acting skills now in the game called Sound Charades. This is based on the old TV favourite, Give Us a Clue, where teams used to mime the titles of books or films against a strict time limit. In the original version, the teams performed in total silence while the audience screamed with laughter. This version differs in just two ways. The undisputed master of Give Us a Clue was, of course, Lionel Blair. There was always great competition to see who would get which subject. We lost count of the number of times Lionel had to beat off Christopher Biggins. So, Tim and Jeremy, you're to start, please, and your title will shortly be displayed to the audience via the plasma display screen. And here's the mystery voice for listeners at home.
The Lovely Bones. The Lovely Bones.
You're guessing this one, Barry and Graham. So off you go, Tim and Jeremy.
Right, it's
3 words.
3 words, and it's a book and a film. Right.
Yeah, and it goes like this.
I say, look at this picture here. She's a doll.
A prehistoric woman they dug up.
Yes.
But she's just a skeleton.
I know. She looks like a supermodel.
That's true, but do you find that attractive?
Gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Smashing.
You're sick.
Ding dong.
I think we'll make an end of it there.
Skeleton, you're digging up bones.
Yeah.
Indiana bones. It's the
something bones.
Lovely bones.
It is.
So, Barry and Graham, your title is now being exhibited on the laser display board. And here again is the mystery voice for listeners at home.
Pattern. Pattern.
A film?
Have we started? Yes. One word.
One word.
Yes. Dougal.
Hamish. You'll have had your tea.
Oh, I have no need of stimulant.
Oh, dearie me, what are you doing with those needles?
Oh, it's not what you think.
Oh. Oh.
It's my new hobby.
Oh. And what's that bulging in your sporran?
Well, that's where I keep my balls of wool.
Oh. Yeah. Now I see it.
Well, it's only a small sporran.
Oh, that's good. That's it. And what's that you're knitting?
Well, it's a wee haggis cosy.
Oh.
And here I go. Oh, I've dropped one.
I'll open a window. Tell me, how the dickens do you know what stitches to execute?
Well, I have the instructions on this wee piece of paper here, together with a picture of Piers Morgan.
Oh, that haggis cosy suits him well.
Oh, Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Is it pattern?
Oh, that was fun. The next round is a version of Cheddar Gorge. It's just one of the many games taking their names from famous places. There's Alpine Mountains, which is a bigger version of Jenga, but using boxes of muesli. Then there's Wailing Wall, where players fire harpoons over a wall. And not far from here, they play Vale of White Horse, which involves drinking whiskey through a burqa. In this game, one team are experts whose job it is to dispense advice to their opponents, and the other team are a couple in need of help. However, the experts are themselves suffering from a handicap. They must take turns to exchange just one word at a time, okay? So Tim and Jeremy, you can be our first experts, while Barry and Graham are our couple who are having problems working their computer.
Morning.
Morning.
Is this the computer helpline?
Yes,
It
is.
Good.
Well, mine's frozen.
Yeah. Frozen.
Have
you
tried
taking
it
out
of
the
socket
and
putting
it
back
again?
Yeah, well, we're doing that now, and it hasn't made any difference.
Can
you
see
the
computer
from
where
you
are
phoning?
No. I still can't open Windows.
Oh.
Have
you
tried
to
undo
the
window
fastener?
Yes.
Have you tried
to
reboot
it
by
getting
a
CD
and
also
a
large
boot
and
kicking
it
hard
in
the
screen?
I did that yesterday, and I've lost all my data.
Took me 10 minutes to do my chips.
Yeah.
Are you
trying
to
be
funny?
I got a fatal error message on the screen.
What
did
it
say?
It said, take your fingers out of the socket.
Are you
really
alive
anymore?
We're losing the will to live, that's for sure.
Your turn to be the experts now, Barry and Graham, while Tim and Jeremy are a couple who have come to relate to try to save their marriage.
Well, we've come to see you because we're obviously, you know,
We're in a bit of trouble.
We're getting a bit desperate now.
Yeah.
We don't know where to turn to.
Yeah.
Why
Do
you
come
here?
when
You
think
You
have
a
problem.
Because that's your job.
Yeah, we didn't know we tried.
Thickos
We went to our GP and he recommended that we should come
to relate.
To relate.
Or as you probably remember it, Marriage Guidance Council.
Has he been
Helpful
at
helping
you
in
your
situation.
Who?
your
Doctor!
Don't shout at us. We've come here for advice.
Piss.
Just a cup of tea, if that's all right.
Not as healthy though, is it?
Sugar.
You seem to be, unable to help us in any meaningful way. We've come here in good faith.
In good faith.
And you don't seem to have a coherent view of what you're trying to say to us.
Yeah. Can you help us? We can't agree on anything. We're having a terrible sex life.
Well, that's not quite true. We do agree on some things.
Yes, we do. We don't like relate, do we?
No.
Well, not this relate. Actually, I think relate is great. I better say that quickly. I'm president of our local area. Yep.
Daphne has this...
It's a great organisation.
Daphne has this problem of breaking character.
I'm just I'm sure that I'm a woman. Can you help me in some way?
When
you
say
you
are
needing
assistance,
what
precise
do
you
need?
What we said.
Have
you
tried?
Don't say unplugging it and putting it in again. Because we have tried that, actually.
Well, we move on to the round called Any Questions. I'll be putting various questions to the team sent in by listeners, and this week's subject is household pets. But first, we have to send our sympathies to a listener who asked us how she could stop her cat attacking sparrows. And when we recommended putting a bell on its collar, we could hardly have predicted the cat was going to wander onto the pitch during a football match for the blind. Okay, teams. Let's see if you can solve these knotty problems, which are all pet or animal related. We'll start with you, Tim. Can you answer this listener's question? How can I get my stick insects to mate?
Disguise the males as David Beckham.
The answer actually is taking them on a car journey has proved successful in the past, particularly with the giant spiny stick insect.
Take them on a car journey?
Yes. They like to go dogging.
Fair enough.
Barry, what does it mean if my guinea pig starts to rumble?
You've eaten it too quickly.
Means he's not happy, Barry.
Well, it wouldn't be.
Graham, I've noticed that our hamsters are great swingers. Is there anything I can get to make their cage more fun for them?
You could give them all tiny little car keys.
The answer actually is slip a piece of string through the length of a cardboard tube, knot the ends, and hang from the top of their cage to make a fun swing for them. I don't think you're supposed to hang from the swing. Finally, Jeremy, what's a good way to fool thieves into thinking I have a dog when I haven't?
Always be seen carrying a little bag of shit.
The answer is actually leave a dog bowl outside your house and ensure you have a lead hanging near the window. Okay, here are some for any of you to have a go at. So, how might a tennis racket prove useful in trimming a guinea pig's toenails?
Are you pissed?
I wish I was.
A power serve or something?
Yeah, and get them all the way to the vets.
Yeah.
You place the guinea pig on the strings of the tennis racket. His toes will poke through the gaps, making them easier to clip.
Oh, dear.
How can you tell when a dog collar is properly fitted?
When the vicar starts breathing again.
You should be able to slip 2 fingers under it.
Really?
That would start the vicar breathing again, wouldn't it?
Although it's usually the other way around, isn't it? My horse is very difficult to catch. Any suggestions?
Change its name to herpes.
In fact, it says always approach him from a 45-degree angle. It's less threatening than face on.
From above?
From above. Just fall onto it, yes, from a crane. And finally, what's the best way to get a dog to take a pill?
Rest it on his bollocks.
That would work.
Cover the pill in butter, and the dog loves the taste and it slips down easily. Well, it's very nearly the end of the show, but there is just time for a round of Swanee Kazoo. This is where the teams combine the lilting glissando of the Swanee whistle with the cheeky rasp of the kazoo. Once an unlikely combination, Swanee and kazoo now go together like Fred Astaire and gingivitis. At the piano, we have Colin Sell. Listeners will be interested to hear that back in the late 70s, when Sting first started touring his band, the Police asked Colin to be in their lineup. He was picked out by mistake, locked up and missed the concert. Tim and Jeremy, you can start, and I'd like you to provide us with a rendition of the Birdie song to feature Jeremy Hardy on the kazoo and Tim Brooke-Taylor on the Swanee whistle. Jeremy, you do realise that since working with you, Colin has started self-harming. Well, you now, Barry and Graham, I'd like you to provide us with a rendition of your Just in Love to feature Barry Cryer on the kazoo and Graham Garden on the Swanee whistle. And so, ladies and gentlemen, as the double Gloucester cheese of time is thrown down the hillside of destiny and the chasing crowd decide Ocado's delivery standards aren't what they used to be, I notice it's the end of the show. So from the teams, Samantha, myself, and our audience here in Cheltenham, it's goodbye. Goodbye.
Barry Cryer, Graham Garden, Tim Brooke Taylor and Jeremy Hardy.